Hey everybody, Icy Cat here. Well, the votes are in for the new map walkthrough and you guys chose Clubhouse. So let's take a look next. As I do today's walkthrough, you'll notice that I will be using the Peacock weapon skin on all of the characters that I play for the map walkthrough. This is sort of a neat weapon skin that was made available for free to anybody that helped with the beta testing. Let's get started with the attacker spawn positions. The first one we're going to begin with here is the main gate spawn. You'll start right over here underneath the sign that gives you entrance to the front of the club. And coming through the gate will open access to the parking exterior area and give you some straight shots into the building, or you can come around here to the side for the garage. This is the warehouse spawn position. You do have an interesting setup here. If you come up these stairs, you can get some overwatch into the building across, maybe have a good sightline set up here for breaching through that wall. Down below is where you'll come through if you come on the ground level. This will bring you out by the kennels. You'll have access to the garage section here right away. You can come up on the exterior eastern subroof over there to get up to the top floor. You can come in through the window here or gain access to the first floor stockroom area. This is the shipping dock spawn. When you start over here, you're going to get immediate access to the strip club position. If you come through this door, over on the side here, that's the other end of it, or you also have the other end on this side, so you can get access to approaching it from any of the three directions. You also have a few exterior wall breaches to work with as well. And if you come up on top, you will have access to the exterior western roof. We also have the construction site spawn, and this has a lot of interesting options to it. You can use this ladder up here to give you overwatch. Oftentimes there will be an objective in this building, and Glaz or somebody with an ACOG can get a really good sight line to cover that window. Or you can blow this wall over here and get a good sight line to cover as well. Really good sniping spot, actually. There's not a whole lot of them, but that is a good one. If you approach the main structure, you've got access into the stockroom or the hallway off the kitchen, as well as the kitchen. This whole section here is the interior kitchen on the ground floor. One interesting thing, though, let's double back to where we started, and you will find that if we go straight, you've got this construction machine here, and this shipping crate here holds an interesting surprise. It is covered up, and from all intents and purposes, it doesn't look like you can do much with it, but you'll notice that we have plywood structures here, and we can go ahead and blow those open. This will take us inside for the lower level basement access through the tunnel, and this will open up into the arsenal room, which is sometimes an objective area or close to other objective areas, as you can see in the other room there. Now let's take a look at some of our camera positions. Beginning in the front section with the exterior parking area, we have our first camera on the pole here. If you look for the double elevated smokestacks, that's a good indicator to find it. This is going to provide overwatch over the general area shown here. Our next exterior camera is going to be found in the kennels. This is just off of the warehouse spawn position next to the garage for the interior. The kennel structures are here where you can hear the dogs barking, and straight up from this smaller kennel is where you'll find our next exterior camera position. This shows good overwatch of the general area here and will allow the defenders to see if you're approaching from any of the exterior positions up against this wall or through these doors, anything like that. Our third exterior camera position will be found over in the recreation area. It's straight above the corner of this wall. You can see the construction vehicle from this position. This will provide overwatch on the balcony and the tops of the roofs and will allow the defenders to see if you're approaching any of the exterior doors that will give you access to the strip club. Our first interior camera is going to be located in the bar. This is right above the counter area in the bar, right over by the main area that gives you access to the stairs. And if you're going to look for that lighted neon sign, it's going to be right next to that over by this beam on the ceiling. And it's going to show you good coverage for the entire area of the bar from either side. Directly above that on the second floor, if you come up the stairs, you're going to find your next camera position. On the top floor, this is the only camera that shows access to the upper deck. The other top floor position does not have this camera. Our next camera is going to be directly up these stairs from that position, and when you come up the top here, it's right in the corner. This is going to give overwatch just to anybody coming up the stairs, or should you make an exterior breach, or if you breach through the wall here, you'll be spotted as well. One of the more hidden camera positions will be found in the garage. It is up in the corner here, kind of covered by some ducting, and this is going to give a lot of overwatch to anybody trying to get into the garage from pretty much any of the angles. It has a little bit of a blind spot directly beneath it for the door, but if they penetrate very far in, they're going to be seen. Our final camera position is going to be found in the basement. When you come on the hallway, that's going to give you access to the arsenal room. It's going to be right above, so when you come through this door, it's going to be directly above in this corner. This is going to cover both hallways as you come through. You'll also be spotted if you try to do any sort of a breach on the walls or anything like that. Let's take a look at trapdoors next. And our first one is going to be here on the western roof. This is right across from the external camera position in the parking area. The front of the building is right below us with the bikes. And if you breach through this trapdoor, you're going to drop down into the first floor changing room, which is right off of the strip club. On the central roof, we're going to have two different trapdoors on the same roof. The first one is going to be located pretty close to that western trapdoor. We're just a level above that. And if you breach this central roof trapdoor, you're going to drop down into the gym area. And this is going to be on the other side of the wall from what's usually a spawn through the wall in here. For the defenders, they'll oftentimes be holed up in this room. Alternatively, from the central roof, you can gain access to this second trapdoor. And this one is going to drop you down into the logistics office. And this will pretty much put you across the hall from the spawn position if the defenders are in here. And give you access to some of the breachable walls that will gain exterior positions as well. Our next exterior trapdoor is going to be found on the eastern roof. Dropping through this position is going to give you access to the CCTV room. This is the other little section that pops up on the top floor by the cash room. And if the objective is going to be in here, this will give you fast access to any defenders that might be holed up in this room. While we do have a trapdoor that gains us access from the roof to the gym, there's also one that will drop down a level below on the floor and put us right by the pool table in the bar. The bar is going to give us quick access to our next trapdoor. Opening up this one is going to drop us down into the basement, and this will put us into the memorial room, which is just off of the church and is a frequent area for an objective position. Another ground level trapdoor is going to be found in the kitchen. Coming in here and opening up this trapdoor is going to allow you to drop down into the arsenal room, where you'll oftentimes find the defenders holed up. Our final interior trapdoor is going to be located just off the back of the garage here, and this is the first floor stock room. Opening up this trapdoor is going to drop us into the back of the utility room. On the opposite side of this wall, you'll find the church. Going over here to the side, you will also gain access to the arsenal room, or coming in the other direction will gain you access to the bottom of the garage. The bottom of the garage is sort of another trapdoor in that you can drop a level down through here. It's nothing that you have to breach though, so I don't really consider it in line with the other trapdoors, but if you wanted to drop down quickly, this is an open area through which you can do that. Now let's take a look at some defender spawn positions. For playing the bomb objective mode, one of them is going to be in the bedroom and the gym. These two positions are right next to each other. You see what I've done here is opened up a hole in the wall so I can fast respond between them depending on where the action is happening. This will also allow me a quick line of sight to either window in the rooms. I can defend either window depending on which side of the wall I'm on and cover each room's entry that way. There is a trapdoor up in the ceiling in the other room here to be careful of. And the walls that you're going to want to protect are this exterior wall here is one of the most important ones to do. I would also put on some of the batteries or a signal jammer to prevent a breach there. You'll need to be careful of the exterior drone access here on the wall. They'll roll through there pretty quickly. Other walls to reinforce would be this one. This is the back side of the logistics office. You can also spread out a little bit of defense into there if you wanted to. You'll want to reinforce the barbed wire coming up the stairs here. This is a pretty hot area for guys to come up. So the more difficult you make that, the better. And they'll make plenty of noise coming through here, even if they start breaking up the wire. It's a narrow area. They have to funnel through here. A little shock wire might go a long way. You'll want to be careful of the exterior wall here. This is the balcony on the other side of this. You can reinforce this with some panels. This is optional. You can reinforce this wall if you want. You can make a murder hole through here to catch anybody coming from the gym or anybody that might try to breach through here if you don't reinforce this. You can reinforce that or not. It can, I wouldn't call that a critical one. But definitely leaving this connecting wall between the two rooms open, whether it's through making a murder hole or two, or throwing a nitro cell on here and opening it up, just allowing you to fast respond between the two rooms is going to really go a long way. The next defender spawn for bomb is going to be in the CCTV room or the cache room. And when we put our bombs in these, we again have the adjacent rooms where we have to fast respond between two positions. So I like to open up the wall here. That way you have a little bit more options as far as how to defend. If you didn't want to put as big of a hole as this, maybe you could make some murder holes, and at least that way you can fast respond. If you come through the door here, you're sort of limited to how you funnel into the room. And at least if you have a few other angles opened up, you can respond there. Maybe something, even if you don't want to make the big hole in the wall, something down low if they try to breach through the wall here is good. You do need to be aware if you come through here that there's fast drone access from the exterior, and then they can zip into the room to confirm it. So putting down some kind of a signal jammer or shock wire here in the middle might be a good thing to do. You have these stairs here that come up from down below. And one thing you can do is create a murder hole in the floor here, and this creates a blind spot for them. They can't see around this, and then as they come up, you'll be able to shoot them, and you can make that higher if you want to, but just having it right there sort of keeps it hidden as they come around, and then it's sort of too late. These walls here are bricks, so they can't be breached, and that's good. But this wall right here, you're going to want to throw some reinforcement panels on for sure. That's the outside there. This wall is optional. This is where the garage comes through here. You can reinforce this wall, or you can do what I've done here and create a murder hole so that if they come through this position, maybe when they try to come up this ladder here, if they're going to do anything, you can get the drop on them there. One other vent area to be wary of is there's a little one here that's sort of hidden underneath this shelving unit here, but they can send some drones in here. Although first they'll have had to have climbed up the ladder to do so, and if you've got a hole overwatching that area, you can drop them before they have a chance to do much there. You do have a few windows to worry about. Castle might be effective here, or, just a combination of keeping watch on them will also serve well. Our next objective position for defense is going to be located in the bar and the stock room. This is a tricky one to defend. There's so many angles to worry about. They can come in through just about any of these directions here, so you're going to want to watch all of your angles. Covering up this back wall here from the strip room is a good idea. Also making sure that you've got something going on as a deterrent. Maybe you can place a deployable shield right here and then electrify it so they have to vault it to get into the room. Making sure that they can come through these back walls here. Reinforcing these is always a good idea. Either of those can be attacked. They'll typically come through this area here. Capcan can sometimes make a good setup with some lasers going on, or just, having somebody kind of sitting here ready and waiting. You don't have to have an open passageway between these two rooms because it's a lot of room space to cover, but being able to fast respond is always going to be good. But then you do open up having these doors here that come out to the exterior. They can come through any of these positions, and if you're overextended, you might find yourself a little hard-pressed. You may want to maybe set up in this room and then just have Overwatch with a murder hole covering that bomb position. But if they place the diffuser on the other side of this wall, then you could be in some trouble because you'll have to go in hot to get it. Possibly splitting up, maybe a 2-3 defense between the two rooms with some slight ability to fast respond would be a good way to go. The final defender's spawn position for the bombs is going to be located between the church and the arsenal room. This is another tricky one to defend because of the number of angles you have to cover. Some big ones you have to worry about is you have a trap door in the memorial room here off to the side. This entire back wall can be breached. I would recommend putting reinforcement panels definitely on this wall. If you're going to be holed up in here at all, behind the bar positions are some good areas to cover from, especially this one here, as it kind of allows you to look down this hall and into the next room. But you're going to want to have reinforcement panels all across this wall to make sure that you can't get hit with cluster charges or breaches from back there when you do so. Since you're spread out, if you don't open up a hole in the wall here, you might have a little bit of a hard time getting back into the room to make sure that you're defending your bomb position. So if you don't open up the pathway, at least make some murder holes and maybe allow yourself the ability to fast respond. They do have a trapdoor up here in the ceiling that's going to give them pretty fast access to it if they come through here and everybody's stacked up in the other room. Of course, you have the opposite problem with the other trapdoor on that side as well. And you do have this back path to worry about. I don't see this getting used as much as I would think it would. How much you want to throw into this, I suppose, is going to depend on the kind of action that you're seeing. You only have so many spots that you can reinforce. I mean, you also have the garage back here to worry about. You can make some murder holes in the wall here. And that way, if they're coming through, especially on this side, you can get that longer line of sight. And there is this trapdoor that they can come through. You're going to hear them if they do, typically, unless they do it quieter with Sledge. But, you know, if you sit here, you can see them whether they come through either side. One thing I like to do sometimes is you can also create a murder hole on the floor here, which they may not be expecting. And then when they come through the door, if they try to run through, you can get them. Or if they drop down from that trapdoor across from here, you can get them as well. In hostage game mode, you're going to have your objectives in pretty much all of the same locations, and they'll apply pretty much the same tactics. You'll just tighten them up a little bit since you don't have 2 rooms to spread across. But one room that's unique to the hostage mode is the strip club spawn. If you have a hostage in here, you have some interesting things to work with. It's a very small area to defend. It's very tight. But you do have immediate access to the outer shell. It's right against the wall here. And if they start coming through the shipping area, they can come in here. If you want, you can leave this wall open and just kind of dump on them as they come around. Or you can double reinforce the wall. Typically, I'm going to reinforce that wall, but it is an option you could employ if you wanted to. Likewise, you have exterior access here that's pretty rapid. They'll oftentimes come around through the side. Otherwise, go ahead and set up some barbed wire in here and reinforce this nice and tight. This wall is another area where they'll typically come through. They have an exterior breach that they can do here or here, as well as the door. So they have lots of options of how to get into this back hall, as well as a trap door in the ceiling above. You could open up a hole here, and this could invite some crossfire into the hostage, which would force a loss for the attackers if they, started engaging here and the hostage is right in plain sight. Another thing you can do is leave the wall completely closed yet, and just create a murder hole here so that as they funnel through the door, you can get a good drop on them, but you do leave yourself a little exposed from the ceiling here. And you can also set back in the bar area here and just sort of wait for them to come through if you wanted to. Or if you've opened up a hole in the wall, you at least have something to kind of put behind yourself for cover. And this will allow you to also fast respond whether they're coming through here, or you could turn and pivot and get that door as well. This is a very important wall to reinforce because the other side of this is the pool room with the bar, and they'll often breach through here pretty quickly, and you'll sometimes have them coming through this area as well. So this corner here is a pretty good one to reinforce, and oftentimes, especially if you have this wall reinforced too, you might have somebody sitting down low waiting for them to come through, or maybe, sort of leaning out from the boxes here ready for somebody to step through. Likewise, secure area is going to have most of the same objectives seen in Bomb, and the tactics will carry over well there too as long as you tighten them up to one room. But the one that's going to be different is the garage. This spawn is unique to secure area and won't be found in the other modes. This is an interesting room because, like the strip club, it is a very small enclosed space, but you have a lot of exterior breaches here. You have the door that leads from the outside, and this is probably going to be your most common point of entry. But you do also have the garage doors. So I'm going to recommend reinforcing these for sure, and also be aware of the drone access you have there. This back wall can be opened up as well, and I don't see too many people come through here as compared to some of the other options, but you could set up a overwatch on that, or else just reinforce it. Coming up here on the ladder, you're also going to find another one that is commonly overlooked by defenders. So set up reinforcement panels on this wall with signal jammers and, maybe some of the batteries or something. If they come in here, they're going to be able to fire down on top of any defensive positions you have, and that's going to be brutal. Also, if you have any defenders up here, they're going to be able to come through and just blow them out pretty quickly. Speaking of the walkway up here, it's a pretty good position. You can't be shot from below because you've got the metal grating here. At least you can't be seen anyway. There can be some bullet penetration, possibly. I'm not 100% sure about that. But you can also use these side panels here for a little bit of cover and concealment and lean out as needed, especially if you're down prone. They're very effective at keeping you concealed as people come through and opening up on them. Again, that door is typically going to be a pretty regular area for people to come through, especially if you've covered up your garage doors very effectively. You do have the possibility of a drone coming through on you from that side if you're not careful of that. If you're worried about it, you can put something down to stop it. And you just have a lot of good lines up here, especially if you go prone and use some of these panels sort of to your advantage. I do wish this area across could, I mean, this just looks like it's begging for somebody to be able to kind of sit up there and shoot down, but alas, there's no real good way to get up there. There might be some kind of a glitch or something to get up there, but there's no real legitimate way to get up there that I'm aware of. Coming down into the bottom here, you have a little bit of cover afforded to you from some things that you can get behind and lean out. You're going to want to make use of some good deployable shield tactics in this area, though. It's a little open, and putting in some deployable shields to sort of channel their lines of sight is a good way to go. And another thing that you're going to want to be careful of is this back door. They can come through here, and when they do so, this is a good spot to hit them from the side on the walkway, or you can have somebody that's kind of sitting here and waiting, so long as their back isn't exposed, as long as you've got this reinforced. A hazard that you want to be careful of is this open pit. It is so easy to be in the middle of a firefight and you're trying to, get the drop on somebody and you're going around and down you go because you forgot about the hole in the floor. So be very careful of that. I would try to keep your firefights, if you're moving around, back in this area here so that you're not stepping and sort of falling down that hole at a really inopportune time. Another thing to be aware of is that this is grating here. So if you're sitting here and watching the door, if an attacker does come from below, they can just shoot you by looking straight up through the floor, and that's going to make a bad day for you. Let's take a look at our general walkthrough now. If you think of the front of the building here with the sign and where all the motorcycles are parked up as sort of your central hub, this is going to open up a path that will make the most sense to you. Coming through the front of the building will grant you access to the bar. You can come to the side here and get access to the parking garage. You can come up to the roof and get access to the two upper structures that are there, or you can come to the side and get access to the strip club. And I'm going to show you what this looks like from the interior. Let's just go ahead and come through the wall here and start with the bar as our central hub for everything. I mean, you have a trapdoor that'll get you downstairs. You have the stairs here, which will take you down or up to that upper level. Over to the side here, as mentioned, is the strip club. So let's start with that. You can come in here either through the bar or from some of the exterior doors. And this is going to take you right back here. This is a room that will only be in play in the hostage mode. It is not available in bomb or in secure area, but you can find a hostage spawn position in here if you're assaulting the structure. As mentioned before, we do have multiple ways in through the trap door. This whole back hall can be breached and opened up. Lots of ways to get into this area if you need to assault the room. It's a tight and small space with lots of breachable areas as discussed in the defender spawn section. Back from the bar, we'll come back to these stairs again because those are super pivotal, but you can also breach through any of these wooden walls here, a wooden wall back behind the bar, this side wooden wall, you can come through there. Coming into the lounge area grants us access to the back side of the garage, which is right through here, so you can come through into the garage, or if they're defending in there, you can come through and kind of get the drop on them that way. We have the stock room, both of these doors here, and over there in the corner here are exterior points where you can enter into the room. This is the wall that will gain access to the side of the bar if you needed to come through into the bar. This is the other side of that wall. This is that projector wall that we were looking at before. This will take us downstairs into the basement if we need to go there. And this is the other way into the garage if you needed to assault this. We'll get back to where that ladder comes to in a second. We have also this closet here. Nothing much is useful in here, but you can kind of come in through this window if you wanted to. When we come up the stairs here, we've got access to the eastern stairs, and this will open into the CCTV room. And if you follow this around, this will put us into the cash room, which is often an objective point. These exterior walls will open up very nicely. I'll talk about those more in just a moment. There's lots of windows to come through. This wall is interesting in that you can open it up, and as talked about in the defender section, as an attacker, if you were to come through here, you'd get the drop on anybody down below pretty effectively. Let's just vault over the side here to get back down again. Again, we're just heading over to that main hub. The bar is sort of the hub for everything. So coming into the bar is the center. Strip club is to the left if you're facing the sign. The garage is to the right. You also have access to the upstairs position there, or the upstairs position by this stairwell here. Before we cover the stairs, though, there is this central hallway. You can come through here. This is the kitchen with the trap door, and you can also get in through the window there or through this back door, which will bring you into the meat locker in the back of the kitchen. This is a fast way to get in. If you don't need to worry about the bar, then you have the stairs. Let's go up top first. This flight of stairs will bring you up to a separate second story section. We have the logistics office back here. This has a breachable section here, and you can also get into the other room through that section there, as well as a trap door in the ceiling. Lots of little places where you can defend in here, but most of the action tends to not take place in this room. This is an objective room over here with, once again, another wall that can be opened up from the exterior. These walls can be connected, and you can see kind of what's going on from one room through to the next. This is also a breachable wall here. This whole area is nice if you're coming through as an attacker and you're trying to get in. This is the balcony section, so you can spawn over there and come up here pretty quickly and then get in through this door on the side. This will give you fast access to the gym, or you can come around through here and get into the bedroom where we were just a moment before. If we take these stairs down instead of up, that's going to take us over into the central stairs and the basement hallway. Straight ahead of us, we have the arsenal room, and to the right, we have the church. Let's check the church first. This back wall is breachable, as is this wall from the utility room. The memorial room here sort of puts us, so I just did a big square here, rectangle rather. We have a trapdoor that comes from above. Again, that's that same stairwell we had just come down a moment before. Coming back into the arsenal room opens up a few options. So we've got some trapdoor access up in the ceiling here. We've got this back utility room. This wall is breachable to get into the arsenal room. That's the back side of the church. We could breach through there if we needed to. And this comes out to the underside of the garage that I was mentioning in the defender spawn. So if you wanted to come up and shoot underneath their feet, this is where you would do that. Or you could come up into the parking garage if you wanted. Coming back through this area again, once again, we're in the arsenal room. This entire set of walls is completely breachable. The entire ceiling in here is completely breachable if you were to hit it with Ash or anybody like that. And coming up through the secret tunnel entrance will bring you out into the construction spawn, as mentioned in that attacker section. You will be required to spend some kind of a breaching device to get through here, though, whether it's a sledgehammer or a charge or something of that nature. But that's a complete walkthrough of all the areas that are in the clubhouse. One other interesting thing to note about the design of the Clubhouse map is that every map seems to have sort of rules that it adheres to, but there's a couple of exceptions, and this is one of them. It shares a commonality with Hereford in that the exterior shell can be breached from a few places. You can do this in Hereford map as well, and this has 3 positions, 1, 2, 3, that allow you to get right into some of the objective rooms. And as defenders, we talked about that in the defensive spawn positions, but these are some pretty important areas to cover. The other major rule that it sort of defies many of the other maps on is that it has trapdoor access from the exterior shell upper roof. And even Hereford doesn't do that. So, it's nice to see them play with a lot of the unique map design thing where they're not afraid to break some of their own rules and try some different things so that the tactics and strategies aren't always going to be the same from one map to the next, and you have different elements to worry about. Let's take a look at some of our exterior drone access points. For over in the exterior parking lot, we can get straight into the garage here really quickly and get a scope of what's going around. Directly across from the garage doors in the exterior parking area, and this is off to the front where the bikes are, we have fast access into the first floor changing room. If you turn over here, you're going to get immediate access to the strip club, so if they have a hostage in here, this is where you'll come through. If your drone begins in the junkyard, you've got good access by coming through this panel in the floor here. It's right by this garage door and this tin metal wall, and this will spit you out right into the strip club as well. Keep in mind the strip club is only in play for hostage rescue, but if you want to come through here, it can get you into the bar pretty quickly by coming through the side door. Just off to the side from the construction site, you'll find the graffiti area. And if you come through the vent on the ground here, you're going to find yourself with quick access into the bar. If you have anything here, that's going to open it up pretty fast. Otherwise, you can get pretty quick access to the stairs that will split it between going up or down, and it's just going to open up a lot of fast access there. A short connection will also get you from the garage into the first floor lounge. This is a speedy way to either get into the bar off to the side here, or you can take it upstairs, and if you think that they're up in the positions above you, this will give you a pretty fast route up there. On the upper floor, we have something of a highway for the drone system. Starting with the eastern subroof, you can come through here, and this puts us into the eastern stair hall. If you come up the stairs here, you can also jump onto the highway by coming through this connecting passageway, which will give you access to the cash room. If you find that that's empty, you can spit outside through the central subroof area and come straight ahead into the bedroom on the second floor, and you're going to be able to very quickly figure out if they're on the upper floor. You can go right from one building straight into the next and get pretty fast access to anything that's up on this entire upper level. Another one that's up here is right off of the cash room. If you come into the CCTV room, you're going to have a very well hidden vent underneath the pile of TVs on the shelves here. This will give you access to the upper garage area. It's a very hard to spot vent. So let's take a look at a few places to hide your drone when you're coming in. If you come into the garage here, you can, with one well-timed jump, you can get into the toolbox here. You might be a little visible, but if you are not actively scanning, you should be all right with that. You can get up on top of some of these tables here and, use some cover that you can see through but will still obscure the lights on the front of your camera. You can also get into some spots that will be underneath things but still allow you to keep a good eye on things. All of these shelves here, your drone can perch inside of any one of these, and you're pretty recessed. So if you want to just have a very narrow field of view, you can come back here and you'll be hard to spot. Anything you can do to put your drone into a shadowy corner is going to be good. Keep in mind when those lights come on, you'll be more visible, especially if you use the scan feature. But if you can get up into some of the trickier spots, then you're going to be able to have a position where even if the red lights are on, they're not going to necessarily know that you're up there. And even if you scan them, they'll be looking around wondering, where's that drone? Where is it? Even using some partial concealment by objects that will block your lights are another good way to go. You're going to be looking for all kinds of ways to stick your drones in areas where they're just not going to be expecting to see one. You're going to want to try to find positions that you can get into with one jump or maybe 2 well-timed jumps, but don't push your luck too much on those kinds of things. If you can manage to get your drone up high, you'll have a less likely chance of being spotted because they're not expecting to look for your drones up there. But do be aware of the red lights popping on, that's definitely going to give away the location. Sometimes staying down low is a good way to go. It's a little bit more expected, but getting coverage underneath some of the furniture can definitely have its advantages. Be sure to let me know down below in the comments what you'd like to see for the next map walkthrough. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to stay up to date on all of the latest tips, tactics, and strategies for Rainbow Six Siege. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.